what about companies' policies on social media? Because this is a big topic of conversation. So what are some of your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that the discussion is healthy, and I think that the progress that certain companies are making is a step in the right direction.
So what do you think some of the companies that are going in the right direction are doing?
Well, they're documenting that there should be some guidelines and processes around social, but again, until it becomes a top-down strategic process with the fifth P in full view, you can't create guidelines if you don't necessarily understand what those guidelines are meant to accomplish.
Other than don't be on other than your lunch hour.
Yeah, or don't be stupid, or use common sense.
Right, yeah.
You know, really this is about, this is part of actually the book Engage, where I talk about how do you bring your brand to life. And you know, if you think about Disney, you know, everything that Disney does is embodied in their, not just their content, but even in the individuals at Disneyland who are wearing their suits. The people represent the brand. That brand is alive everywhere you look. It's fortified by everything that you see, you consume, you touch, you hear, you see. And brands aren't necessarily looking at social media in that way, but they should, right? When you are at Disneyland, you never see Mickey Mouse take his head off to have a cigarette, right? You know, for the smoke break.
No, it's marijuana, and it's purely for medicinal purposes, from what I understand. I'm just saying.
Well, he's getting old, you know?
Right, and he's in California, so.
You know, there are tunnels, right? And those characters, you know.
What? That's my attorney calling, going, I think the Disney people are on the phone, Chris.
Those tunnels are used to basically get out of sight, and then they can take that head off, and they can just be the regular person that they are. But when they go back on stage, or back onto the stage of life, as Disneyland sees it, they again become what it is that they're representing. And so brands need to think about those guidelines in the same way, meaning that they are representing a brand. What does that brand stand for? If the brand was a person, if it had a voice, if it had stature, if it was a particular person, who would it be? What would it sound like? You know, these are the things that we have to not only define, but then also match it to the individuals who are representing it on the front line. That there has to be this connection, not just between the people, but between what the brand stands for, and then also the person representing it out there, right? You look at customer service professionals in most organizations will go through so much training, and it's for a variety of reasons, but we're not necessarily providing that on social. We're just giving them some guidelines.
Right. Here, go do this.
And don't do this.
And don't do that.
But really, it's a symbol of how businesses sort of see the value of social media. We have a lot to learn.